Hello. Welcome back to the harbor. I know. We spend a lot of time here at this harbor, but it's for a good reason. Here at the harbor military office, we have three nice military 2 contracts here that should pay a lot. 37,000 for a shunting contract. I can't imagine what the price of the full haul will be for these missiles. Also, hauling missiles sounds pretty cool. We're also going to be taking along some ammunition with us, and the main station building also has a delivery going to Iron Mine East, which is pretty well on the way to the military base. I've actually never been to the military base, so this will be my first time on this little stretch of track. And yeah, that's going to be the plan for today. That's the reason we're back here at the harbor. I was really itching to get some military contracts done. So, because it's nighttime and because you've seen me do shunting, I'm going to just do this shunting off screen. And when I come back, it will be the morning and we'll be ready to head out of here. Before I leave, I did want to also provide another reminder to my dearest viewers. Please, if you are interested in seeing more games on this channel, go ahead and let me know that by checking out the pinned comment. In that pinned comment, you will see a poll where you can vote for the next game I should play. Please do not forget to do that. Maybe take a chance during these cinematics to go ahead and do that. It really helps me understand my viewer niche. So, see you again when we're ready to head out of here. And sorry for the pitch black screen right now. Welcome back, viewer, to Cat, the game. We're still at the harbor. I have everything all set up and ready to go. We have the 4 aforementioned jobs with us. There's the train. As you can see, it's rolling backwards. We have our spicy cargo on board there. A bunch of missiles pointing all sorts of directions. Probably not good practice for when you launch them, but we're not launching them. We're moving them this fine dawn morning. Now, back here, we have the excavation equipment heading over to Iron Mine East. Almost said West again. So, hence the reason for the backup. This will give us a little bit of runway as well for when we pull this heavy load out of here. Now, it is actually pretty heavy. A bit heavier than I thought everything would be, but it's nothing crazy. This is really all said and done a pretty easy haul. We're coming in at about a ton, and I'll break down the weights of everything individually as soon as we head off. Just so I could focus on one thing at a time. We're going to be taking the DE6, the Slug, and the DE2 with us. I know I got a bunch of comments in the last video about not sandwiching the Slug between a DE2 and a DE6. Now, that was regarding the chance for overheat. I could actually probably pull up the exact comment, so I can give you some credit for the one who recommended that. Yeah, Mr. Dhruv Patil, had mentioned that sandwiching a DE2 and a DE6 might lead to some overheat issues, but I didn't see any overheat issues on the last haul, and I think that was because we had 2 DE6s. We were really overqualified for what we were doing, and I would be taking a DE6 today if there was one available, but there isn't. If there was one, I would ditch the DE2, but we actually do need the DE2 just to get a little extra oomph heading out of here, especially with the uphill. You can see my battery's almost dead here. I spent all night. I haven't even actually gone to sleep. It just so happens that we started in the beginning of the night and we're finishing up here in the beginning of the morning. So it's been a busy night of shunting and loading cars and moving things around, turning trains around and whatnot. But we did it, and we're almost ready to head off. Just got to couple our last things here. Oh, that one was actually already open. There we go. I think I will push back a little bit further before we head off. And I'll take this opportunity to go over the total specifications of what we're hauling here. So as mentioned, excavation equipment. We have some overhead crane equipment here, and we have some excavating trucks here. This is FH94 mining trucks, tower crane parts. These are heading over to Iron Mine East. 225 tons, 109 meters. This is our second heaviest job on the consist. Following that, we have the military containers. So this is ammunition heading over to the military base. Nice big $37,000 paycheck for moving this stuff. Following that, we have FH47. This is our first order of missiles heading over to the military base, B4I, 72 tons, 72 meters. I forgot to mention the ammunition actually is the heaviest haul, 225 tons, pretty dangerous as well. And then finally, at the head of the train, we have more missiles. FH74, 72 tons, 72 meters, identical to the one behind it. Same pay, 80K for heading over to B4I in the military base. So if you caught that there, everything going to military base today is going onto the same track, which is super convenient. Leads me to believe military base might be a small station, although, as I've mentioned many times already, I've not been there before, so I don't know what it even looks like. But I think we're all ready to go. I'm going to get the train moving real slowly. Am I? No, I'm gonna give it a good amount of throttle so that it gains some speed, because we don't have a huge run up, and then I'm gonna activate all these orders now. I'll go over the plan. We do have a approach plan in mind here. Having taken a look at the route map and also getting a comment from, I believe, Marty regarding good approaches into the military base. Already going 12. Yeah, I think we'll make it out of the harbor just fine here. So we pop back into here and close our door. Get the bell on since it is a bit foggy out. We'll turn that off once we get onto the quote-unquote freeway or the main line. So the approach here, we're going to Iron Mine East, which is super handy because what we can do is pull into Iron Mine East, turn the train around there, and then back up all the way into military base. And I do want to just verify here that was Marty indeed that recommended doing that. And we have the perfect set of orders to make that happen as well. So that worked out really well. I hadn't even, I got that comment today as I was recording this, as I was doing all my shunting and everything. And I was like, oh, that's the plan. That was the plan all along, was to go to Iron Mine East. So that actually works out really well. As for train specifications, these 4 orders combined add up to only 624 tons of cargo, gross cargo weight. Do bear in mind, however, that a considerable amount of that cargo weight is high explosives. So it's a little bit different this time around, where we're going low weight but high danger. We'll be sure to have a nice, soft, and comfortable journey here. We're leaving the harbor in the fog, under the cover of the fog, so that no one knows where we may have imported this military equipment from. The total length of our cargo is 329 meters. With the locomotives, that brings our total gross vehicle weight up to 912 tons. That's wet weight with fuel. You can see the DE6 here is fully fueled. The DE2 back there, which I used for shunting, is hardly full fuel. It's probably about half a tank now. Oh, and I forgot I need to be accelerating here. I got so caught up in my numbers. Anyway, gross vehicle weight, 912 tons, probably a little bit less. And length, 373 meters, which I will plug into here. In fact, we can just go 400, 1, 2, 3. So that's 370, and I'll do one more for good luck, for good measure. And we could go ahead and turn off our warning beacons and our high beams now. I'm going to try not to push the DE6 too hard right now. I know I have gotten comments, and I've mentioned it already, that we shouldn't be pushing this too hard. We don't want to damage the slug, although I don't know if that can happen, and we definitely don't want to damage the DE2. I had a couple of incidents when doing my shunting where I hit hit some of the cars a little harder than I would have liked. I think I had a 8 km/h impact at one point. So that was a little sketchy, but it worked out. Oh, and I should check my route map here. We're going to turn right out of the harbor. Thankfully, that was already configured correctly. And then we're going to turn right over here. Left and right to go over Goods Factory. And that'll bring us up to the Iron Mine East, which looks like it's all configured for the most part already to take us into Iron Mine East. Now, it's been a long time since I've been to Iron Mine East. I don't remember 100% what the track layout is there, but I'm sure we'll be able to grok it once we get over there. I think Iron Mine East may have been the first station I went to in this playthrough. Because we hit up Steel Mill. We spawned in Steel Mill for episode 1, and maybe we did a logistic. No, because I wouldn't have had logistics. Maybe it was like the second or third run I did in the game. No matter, we're heading there now. Take a look at all my controls and make sure everything's in order. I did actually forget to put the proximity sensor on the back of the train, but we'll do that once we, pretty lights. Once we sort out the situation at Iron Mine East and we drop off our first load, or maybe in the process of doing that, we can throw the proximity sensor back onto the rear of the train. But for now, it's just about the haul. There we go, changing gears. I received a tip to kind of ignore the throttle and use the ammeter as the primary gauge for determining how much stress is on the DE6. Almost said the slug. And I guess that makes sense, actually, because this is going down very slowly, I think, as the track starts to level out. It is, yeah, definitely. Because it was touching the 9, and now it's not. Alright, that's a good piece of advice, actually. I wasn't aware. I thought throttle was a linear 1-to-1 mapping with amperers. And so, you know, your throttle set to 8, you would have 8, hypothetically, on the ammeter. But I guess it is determined by the load on the vehicle. So with throttle being in the middle, but high load, it will push more amps to the TMs. Let's take a quick look at what Iron Mine East looks like. We're going to be coming in, I guess, from the north, since that's our only way in. And how do we want to turn around here? Oh, we could turn around at the Y prior to entering Iron Mine East. Right here, there's a turnaround point. But let's think about it, actually, because we're going to be heading into Iron Mine East, obviously from the top line here. And where's our drop-off? It's at C. Okay, so if we go right into C, I guess we could just back right on up. Just, we'd have to clear and then back up, but I assume that will be no issue. Yep, we do have a through track in C that we could use to back up. Is there any way we could turn the train around without stopping? Obviously, we could do the full loop, but then we'd be heading nose first into military base, which I've been warned isn't a good idea since it's a terminal station. There might not be a lot of room over there to turn around. I guess we could take a look at that. This is going to be my first time looking at the military base chart. All right, there is a turntable, but we don't necessarily need to use it. And plus, we could just back right into B. Okay, yeah, so we're definitely going to want to reverse into military base out of the Iron Mine. And yeah, we'll just stop and see, pull through, back up, and back out of it, I think. Just take a look at this map one more time. Yeah, because no matter what, if we're going to change the direction of the train, we're going to need to come full stop, I think. Since there's no clean U-turn leading into the Iron Mine. Well, we can take a look at our hull here. There we go, free camera mode. Spicy cargo. Spiciest cargo yet. We have hauled ammonia nitrate, which is also obviously very explosive as well, but it's not designed to explode quite like these things are. And something about the way they're mounting just it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Going back uphill, give it a bit more gas now. I'm thinking about the games I might end up playing. Obviously, I have the poll going. If I haven't mentioned it yet, I have a poll, and the leader is still Captain of Industry. And I've gotten 2 comments on the poll that are like, "Hey, you should play Captain of Industry." I had a really hard time with it. Good luck. It's like, damn, you guys really aren't selling it very well. But obviously, I'm open to the challenge. I think this game's a bit of a challenge to learn. So yeah, I'm willing to give it a try. I'm a big fan of Factorio. I'm a big fan of Satisfactory. Although I never got very far in Satisfactory. Really, I haven't gotten very far in Factorio either. I'm one of those people that very much enjoys like the first 2 hours of a game. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but like in the case of Factorio, once I get to like yellow science, I think it's yellow science, maybe the one after light blue might be purple. Once I get up there, I'm like, this is really hard. Like it's the first step past basic fluid handling when I'm like, I kind of want to go back and make a new factory now. And I'm constantly in that phase of like, oh, I want to make a new factory. I want to make a new factory. And the same thing happened with Satisfactory. And even non-factory games like Vintage Story and Minecraft, when I used to play Minecraft a lot, it was like, yep, new world, new world, new world. As soon as you get everything you need, it's like, all right, well, now I lost that initial challenge, and that initial challenge is what draws me in. And very few games are able to keep me hooked through the mid game and to the end game. I would say this game's one of the exceptions, and one of the things. Are we supposed to be going left here? Okay, yes, we are. It just didn't look like such a sharp turn on the route map. Oh, I've been over here before though. What was I saying? Mid game? Oh yeah, this game. What this game does really well is, in my opinion, the customization and the fact that you sort of make your own challenge. I guess you kind of have to make your own challenge in this game, and so you can always just pull more weight, or you can pull more dangerous cargo, like in the case of what we're doing now. And so this game, it's like it's not shoehorning you into a direction you need to take in order to like increase the challenge or the risk or the intrigue, whereas even Factorio, it's like you have to get the next science pack, you have to get the next technology, and it's obviously not linear, it's a whole tree and everything, but you know what else does it really well in my opinion? Kerbal Space Program. Although even Kerbal Space Program, to a small degree, in my opinion, at least personally, I suffer from wanting to restart and like do the early space program stage over and over again, like with the basic rocket parts. But Kerbal Space Program is good because it has that similar sense of you're creating your own challenge. There's no real like given story that you have to complete or set of missions you have to complete. It's like, all right, which planet do you want to go to? And then you set your goal that I'm going to go to that planet. And so I guess to me that keeps my interest peaked for just a little bit longer than other games. And it's kind of a bit of a contradiction, I suppose, because games like Vintage Story and Minecraft, which are completely open world and have absolutely no missions, in them whatsoever. It's literally you make your own challenge. I do suffer from the issue. So I don't know. I don't know what it is about some games where the mid game dries out for me like that. Maybe it just comes down to game design. I've taken a stab at game design before. I'm no good at it. So I have a lot of respect for the people that are not only able to make finished games, especially indie developers, but are able to make finished mid and end games. That seems even more challenging. So shout out those folks. And I guess that's the end of that tangent. I just like looking at the pointy missiles. I'm thinking about what the thumbnail for this one should be. I want to highlight the missiles, but I don't like that it's all foggy. You know, like look how foggy it is. Whoa. The fog doesn't make for very nice thumbnails. I want sharp and aggressive lighting for my thumbnails. Although the sun is coming out, so hopefully the fog breaks a little bit. Man, I can't wait for this game to get updated. I hope we get more weather effects. I'm sure it's in the patch notes if I'm forgetting. Oh, this is what I wanted to look at. We just made this right, I think, and we're doing this big sweeping right turn in the tunnel, so we should be coming out above Goods Factory pretty soon. Unless we went over Goods Factory and I just completely missed it. I also have no idea what the speed limit is. Okay, there we go. 80. Ah, we're chilling. Oh, and we're going uphill again. We were going like kind of spooky fast for a second there. Not as fast as in the last episode, going from Machine Factory over to Iron Mine West, which is funny, we're going to Iron Mine East now. But going over to Iron Mine West was like, I looked at my speed, it said 70, and I was like, oh, that ain't right. This is Goods Factory, I think. We should be above it. Maybe it's further down over there. Okay, maybe I could take a screenshot here, yeah. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. People don't like when I do it. Look at these missiles, though. So pointy and spooky. What's the... Oh, it's Borat, I think, when they make the nuclear warhead, the ICBM, and he's like, why is it not pointy? Please make it more pointy. Pointy is scary. Anyway, I feel that way too. There's Goods Factory. You don't usually get this view of it. Pretty cool. Actually, this is a really nice part of the map. I just wish it wasn't so foggy right now. Give them a little bell. Give them a little horn even. It actually wouldn't be a bad idea to run down there and buy an analog controller so I could finish setup of the red light, but whatever. We got the whole day. Yeah, it's still 9 a.m. And it's not very realistic to jump off a bridge, run into a store, and then teleport back up to your train. And I promise I'm trying to focus on realism a little bit here. I'm pretty hyped to play a new game, though. Sorry, I just slammed into my microphone stand. And if it is Captain of Industry, that's like pretty cool for a few reasons. Because, well, mainly, I've never played it before, so hopefully I like it, and it looks interesting. And I think I'll have fun in it. I'm kind of itching for a new game, not just for the channel, but like for my brain to release a little bit more dopamine in my day-to-day. So you know what I mean? Like that new game feeling? This is pretty steep over here. I wonder how the DE2's handling back there. What's that speed limit sign say up there? 40? I'm surprised we're going so slow right now with so much power because the incline's not very much. Let's take a second, pop back to the DE2. Let's check our vital signs in here. Fuel is about half a tank, so we had a little bit more than I thought when we head off, which is a nice surprise. And I think we're accelerating now. we can maybe turn off our bell. I don't know why it resets my seating position like that sometimes. And we're not accelerating still. I guess that's really strange because it really doesn't seem like it's that steep. And you would think maybe the rear of the train is still on a steep bit, but we've been on a not so steep bit for a good little bit here. Well, we'll be okay. I mean, we're not slowing down too much. I do not want to push the DE6 too hard, though, as I've been informed. Okay, maybe a little bit harder, though. Just because I'm a little bit impatient. Famous last words. I gotta take a sip of my Olipop. Little meta channel update. I'm at 87 subscribers right now. We're very close to 100, and we're still decelerating. That is crazy to me. Especially with the slugger slugging away back there. Well, we should be pretty close to Iron Mine East, I would think. Well, actually, I guess it is. We still have to make that right. We haven't made that right yet. Oh, I just realized we can't pull out of Iron Mine East to get to... Okay, we have to do the loop. Ooh, that's a good thing I didn't back out of Iron Mine East. We have to do the loop in Iron Mine East, or we'll end up somewhere we don't want to be, going the wrong way. Ooh, I'm glad I caught that. I saw it on here. I was like, that doesn't look like a Y or a triangle. That is a Y, sorry, not a triangle. All right, that's what Marty meant by reverse up the Y. So we need to just do the loop around Iron Mine East, which is good. That means we could do a rolling drop off in Iron Mine East, which I'm interested in doing. Now that I know how to do those properly. C4I means that we'll have an empty track. Wow. Yeah. I shouldn't have cut all that throttle. I guess we're going very slow. How's our fuel looking? You know, when I was doing the shunting... Oh, a quick money update also. 277K. We got a lot of money doing the missile loading missions. Anyway, when I was doing those missile loading missions, I had this DE6 parked like up the hill a little bit at the harbor, getting ready to like set up the consist, and it was just sitting there idling. And notably, it was also plugged into the the slug in the back, but it was just idling with full train brake pressure. I was like, oh, there's no throttle on. It could probably idle for a little bit. How much fuel can it use on idle? I got back in here and it was in the red. Just to give you an idea of how long it took to set up the consist today, I used a full, almost an entire tank of fuel on idle. Either that or I messed up when I thought I refueled everything. Because when I first came down to the harbor today, when I started the video, before I actually hit record, I thought I had fueled everything up to get ready for the day, but maybe I forgot to refuel the DE6 or something. Let me know if that's realistic, that in the span of like probably an hour and a half real time, I burned almost a full tank of fuel on idle. Again, with the DE6 slug hooked up, if that makes any difference. You know, when we were in Machine Factory last episode, I should have grabbed the demonstrator paint so that I could paint the slug to match. Oh well. This iron mine is very uphill. It's been a struggle thus far. Just make sure we don't go into the red, and I think we'll be okay. TM temp is like totally fine. And we're moving. It's not like we're dragging our feet at like 18 or anything. And as long as we're above 20, I don't think I need to worry about the DE2 overheating. We have a switch coming up here. I'm gonna cheat a little bit just to see if I can see which one that is. Is it the first one or the second one? I don't remember if we went over the first one yet. I guess if it's a right, we'll know if it's the first or second one. do want to pop back here and just check our temps. Yeah, temps are fine back here. Still nothing on the switch setter. And I think I need another sip of liquid. Well, dear viewer, do you like alcohol? And if so, what's your favorite? I'm a big fan of wine, like most 26-year-old men in New York, I guess. I don't know if that's accurate. I'm just talking out of my ass. But my second favorite alcohol other than wine would probably be a nice fine scotch, like an Oban, if I'm feeling bougie. Maybe, what's the bougiest scotch I've had? Probably just Oban, actually, like an Oban 21 or something, like a $150 USD bottle. You can get Oban Little Bay for only like 80 now, which is like, I was gonna say the price of a Black Label, but no, Black Label is like $60 here. If you get like a big bottle of it, like a liter. Okay, we're turning right, which I think is the first switch. Yes, yes, yes. Interesting track layout here. I wonder if that's the mine. Okay, well, we just turned left. Am I that blind that for some reason I thought that was a right? I guess we're over here. That makes sense, because this would be that last triangle. All right. Well, there's the mine. We're gonna head in there, and it should, let me just make sure it's all set up. We're going to C4I. We're coming in from the top. We're gonna want to go left, and then we're gonna want to go left again, and get us into C4. That looks correct, although my directions all kind of messed up here. That's actually a good point. I guess we're coming in from the north, actually. Hang on a second. We're coming in from the west. And then that's coming in from the south. Okay, I get it now. I get it. So we will be coming in from the south. We're going to go all the way to the right into C4I. We're going to do a rolling drop off, and then we'll continue on our merry way here on the right through 1L, and then we need to just navigate through B, which we could do on the through track in the middle. Make sure I don't come to a stop here and start rolling backwards. I guess we're still not on flat track. And then that will take us out the way we came, which should allow us to then back in from where we are right now. We just continue down the leftmost track there, except in reverse. And that should get us to the military base. Ooh, and there's a DE6 over here. That might come in handy. We might, depending on what's at the military base, we might pick that up on the way out, you know? And see if it's any use to us to leave the military base with that DE6. Nice looking place, Iron Mine East. Some heavy machinery over there. Lots of cargo jobs, it looks like. Probably all iron ore going over to the steel mill. That might, I don't know. We'll see what we do. We're going downhill. We are. We'll see what the situation is at the military base. We might end up just coming back here to get some heavy cargo that we can take with us across the map. But, you know, we'll see. If the military base... Sorry, I just really wanted to do that. If the military base has some high-paying cargo, then we could do that as well. That's a little close. A little close to the track there, Mr. DE6. All right, there's C4I. We're coming in. I do want to get slowing down. And let's just navigate our way to the back, jumping on the missiles. Let's not come to a complete stop. Be careful and not do that. We want to, as mentioned, we want to get up to like 10 or down to like 10. kilometers. This is our ammunition. So far, so good. Nothing to complain about yet. And you know I love to complain. Pardon my drinking. It's not alcohol, but the reason I brought up the alcohol was I have a lot of alcohol. I've never drank while recording for hopefully obvious reasons, but I don't know, it might be fun. Seems like more of a streamer thing to do. And I don't think I'm an alcoholic. So I feel like I could moderate. All right, that's the end. That's the end of that topic. Let's focus on doing our roll and stop here. Bring it all the way down to 10, please. All right, there's 10. We'll let it roll. And then when we're like one ammunition car away from the edge, I think I'll detach. Yeah, we'll do it like right now, actually. So we want to plug that, leave the other one open, detach you. This should start slowing down. That should keep going. Beauty. Beauty. Really lovely. Turn that on. Are we fully in? Oh, yeah, we're fully in. Now, where is the station building here? That would be my next question. Oh, it's right here. Lovely. And, of course, every single time without fail, I leave the job sitting in the locomotive. Let's pop into here, pick that back up. Switches should be set up to get us out of there safely. I'm going to just assume that's the case and hope our missiles don't explode if we hit anything. Nice, safe, and reliable travel. Look at that, 33 minutes to go like a huge chunk of the map there. And 38K. Solid. Looking at these payouts, we have... This is a pretty big one. 35 and a 25. Even the logistics haul is pretty expensive. But yeah, I mean, surely the military base will have higher paying jobs than that. Let's look into throwing our proximity sensor on the back of the train now too. We are accelerating. It's a little bit of some frame rate issues here. It's probably the lights, the beacons on the lead locomotive there. I like the, hey, this thing might explode iconography. All right, get up here, attach that. There we go. Easy peasy. We can just run all the way back on top of the explosive ammunition. What's our speed looking like? 17? Well, we haven't hit anything so far, so I think we're all right. And yeah, being at Iron Mine East over here is bringing back some memories to the early episodes, the AirPod days. Remember those days? Good times. They were the best of times, and they were the worst of times. But most of all, they were painful on my earlobes. Got some nice iron ore in here. I don't know. Is that really what iron ore looks like? It looks kind of like volcanic rock. It's like all bubbly. All right, I don't think volcanic rock has iron in it, but you know, who am I to judge? I'm not a geologist. Hey, if you're looking for some fun YouTube videos, check out Mars Guy on YouTube. You wouldn't believe the content he makes. It's Mars content. He's a geologist that like dissects the reports and the video and the photography that comes from the Mars rovers. How crazy are the Mars rovers? You ever think about that? You ever look at one of those videos from Mars and be like, huh, that sure is Mars. All right, on that note, I'm going to probably put a little cinematic break in here and be really like right back. It'll be quick for me too. And, we'll be on our way backwards into the military base. Well, I found this nice rock to stand on while we get our reversing maneuver underway. Oh, so much for standing on the rock. There's a lot of fun nature areas of this map that go underrated because there's so much empty space between. Well, I say empty, but I'm kind of arguing the opposite. There's so much space between the tracks in this game. I mean, the map's huge. Well, the map's not that big. Anyway, point is, there's a lot of stuff to look at if you go looking for it. There we go. Kind of like a rolling hill start there, because it is downhill. Pretty, like, aggressively downhill over there. But we're going. We're pushing up in reverse. No less. I just got another comment from Cap ETH. Although I want to say Cap Earth. I know it's your initials. I remember. I think you're Australian, too, which is exotic and fun. The slug gave the 6 the ability to lug the hills like you tend to do. Heavy and slow. Well, it came in handy today. Definitely slow, but we made it up, right? Like, we were going consistently between 25 and 30 kilometers per hour, which I think is, like, the whole point of the slug. Is it's not going to get you there fast, but it's going to get you there. Whereas the DE6 by itself might actually not get you there. It might stall on a slope. Which I've not seen. Actually, yeah, I have seen that with the DE6. That was when we were towing the demonstrator. In that one video I uploaded that blew up, episode 17. That was the one where we stalled, and we had a bunch of, like, explosive tanks of ammonia, and I forget the specific compound that we had. But it was scary and dangerous, and we are, if I remember correctly, going to be going downhill for most of this trip. So I'm going to get some dynamic brake on. And also try to set up my route so that we're going to go into B4I. I want to make sure we reach the dynamic brake equilibrium. Not machine factory, military base. We go right, and then into B, we go into 4I, which is the central track, which is kind of nice, I guess. Okay, we're going kind of fast. I can actually see now, which is useful. You can see the back of the train there. And I don't see a military base yet. This is my first time. I know I keep saying it, but now that it's, like, actually happening, just to re-emphasize, this is my first time seeing the military base. And it's kind of funny that I'm going into it ass first. Nice wiggly track there up ahead of us. What are we looking at? 32, maybe slow down a little bit just because I can't see where we're going. Ooh, I see some structures. I couldn't make out what they were, but I saw some structures in the distance, maybe about half a kilometer away, or 3/4 of a kilometer. Okay, so the dynamic brake is on. I guess some of the pneumatic brakes were on too. Yep, that looks like a military. Well, I guess doesn't really look like a military base, but that is the military base. Probably about a kilometer actually out. I don't know what a kilometer is. I don't know. I'm just kind of talking out of my ass again. I use feet. All right, that's probably like half a mile. Which is what, like 2 kilometers? No, that's not right. Hang on, I'm sorry. Wait, bear with me. A kilometer's 3,000 feet. Yeah, so it's probably about a kilometer. We're taking it real nice and slow, which I like. I like to see. There's our proximity sensor chilling out over there. Is that all? That switch right there. What is that this one? Oh, that is this one. Okay, I get it. So we could go straight. And that would take us. Have I actually been on this track before? Maybe I have seen the military base. I don't recall ever seeing it. So that doesn't mean I've never been on this track, though. I may have just been tunnel visioned and not looking for it. Because I know we have, like in the early episodes, we did this loop-de-loop at some point. We may have been up here as well, although probably not, I guess. It's super out of the way to go up here if you're not going to the military base. We're slowly slowing down, slowly accelerating in the negative direction. Is deceleration a thing, or is it just an acceleration with a negative value? You ever think about that? It's like how cold isn't a thing. It's just the absence of heat. It's just low heat. I'm sure you've heard that one before. Military base is a little lackluster. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it'd be scarier, I guess. Okay, I'm stuck in the trucks. There we go. I want to get up here and turn off the dynamic brake now because we're starting to slow down quite a lot. If anything, I could just switch to pneumatic brake now and control it remotely. Let's also get our bell on. Oh, we're also actually, we started to accelerate again. So let's get the train brake on and turn off the dynamic. Now let's lower the train brake so we can modulate it. There we go, we're pulling in there. Don't want to go over 30 here, especially because I'm not at the back yet. All right, here we are. Oh, now that everything has loaded in, it does look a little scarier up close. There's some tanks in the back there. Oh, whoa, what is that? You could go, there's a tunnel? Oh, we don't have to go there, but I'm probably gonna go over there just to see what's going on. It's piqued my interest. Okay, I think we're on flat terrain now. There's the turntable that if you did this wrong, you'd have to handle. If you didn't have Marty K in the comments to tell you how to do this. A little bit frame rate also. Tends to happen at the end of the episode, some frame rate issues. Those are tank cars, I believe. Empty tank cars. Don't know what that is. This might be the nuclear fuel. Should say it, actually. Oh, it's classified. That's funny. You know, it would be cool if the classified cargo, like, made noises. Like there was something alive in it when you got up close to it. All right, I think we're fully in here. Yeah, a bit of a frame rate issue. Hopefully the update, I mean, they're rebuilding the whole engine. There's a lot of features I want in that update, but there's a lot of fixes I would like too, and I think the first and foremost of those would be some performance issues. I've never had significant performance issues in the game. On the whole, the game runs extremely well for how pretty it is. But it is getting frame ratey now. And I think when it struggles the most is when there's just a lot of 3D models loaded. So that could be at some of the station buildings. It gets pretty framey. The DE6 itself is a pretty framey vehicle, especially when there's dynamic lights on in and around it. And, okay, office building is up here. That's right, the cargo office building. Yeah, not a lot of orders here, so we might end up going to Iron Mine for the next episode. But first, let's make sure we finished everything. Nice payout there, 56,000. 69-minute bonus time, nice. This one got us 119,000, and this one's gonna give us another 119,000. Damn. So, oh my god. Well, the goal for today's episode was to take it easy, just do an easy haul, and make a load of money, and I'd say we succeeded in that mission. We made a load of money. Like, way more money than I thought we were gonna make. Where's those classified? No, they don't even pay that well. The nuclear fuel pays much more than that does. All right, but that's our missiles all done and brought over. to the military base. I don't know what they're going to do with these missiles. I don't ask questions. They can do whatever they like with these missiles as long as I get paid. Same goes for the ammunition. And before I go, let's just take a peek into here. This is pretty cool, and it's very laggy in here as well. Oh, this is the loading. Cargo transfer. That's fun. That's cool. Maybe we'll use this cave one day. There's a lot to explore in here, it looks like. Man, it keeps going. Oh, and there's an upstairs? Fun. All right, well, I have to use the bathroom, so I think it's a great time to end the episode here. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, please consider doing the thing that everyone says you should do at the end of their YouTube videos. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it out loud, but you know what it is. And if you're watching this in the morning, I hope it's a good morning. If you're watching this at night, I hope you have a good night. So long, and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.